Breaking news! What if I told you that everything we thought we knew about the Ravens defense is about to be completely revised? That, behind the scenes, a storm is brewing within the castle, not among the players, but within the coaching staff, and the newly signed players could either start a new dynasty or destroy everything in the process. There's already tension, high stakes, huge online reputations, and fans are wondering, have the Ravens finally got it right, or is this the beginning of another risky gamble? But before we get into the details, don't forget to like this post if you're a true Ravens fan. It's always amazing to see fans of all ages supporting this team. And if you want, comment "Go Ravens" in the comments section. Let's flood the space with purple pride. Let's get right to it. The Ravens have officially hired Anthony Weaver as their new defensive coordinator. And let's be clear, this isn't just some random move to fill a vacancy. This is a calculated, powerful return of a true Raven. Weaver is not only a former Ravens player, but he also served on the coaching staff as a defensive line coach. He's seeing this franchise from the inside out, and more importantly, he's proven himself elsewhere with real results. He was one of the hottest names on the coaching market, receiving multiple head coaching interviews. That alone tells you how respected he is across the league. And now, he's back where it all began, Baltimore. But don't get it twisted, this time, it's different. He's not just another assistant. He's here as the top defensive mind beneath head coach Jesse Minter, who will be calling plays. This is where it gets really interesting. Jesse Minter and Anthony Weaver have never worked together before. This is a brand new dynamic, and that alone opens up a massive conversation. Can these two leaders, both strong-minded and highly capable, align quickly to turn around what was one of the Ravens' most inconsistent units in recent memory? Because let's be honest, Baltimore's defense has not lived up to the standard we've come to expect. 2 years ago, John Harbaugh passed on Anthony Weaver when he had the chance to promote him. Instead, he went with Zach Orr. At the time, there was cautious optimism. Fans were intrigued, even hopeful. But it never clicked the way it needed to. The defense started showing signs of regression, missed tackles, poor communication, lack of identity. Injuries in the trenches certainly didn't help, but you can't ignore the bigger issue. It didn't feel like Ravens football on that side of the ball. Now, we have a fresh start, a new era. A defensive-minded head coach in Jesse Minter, who's hungry and ready to prove himself. A returning veteran in Anthony Weaver, who's motivated and already familiar with the Ravens culture. And don't underestimate the value of Weaver's experience as a former defensive coordinator with the Houston Texans. He knows how to manage a room, prepare a defense, and most importantly, inspire. And that's not the only addition. The Ravens also brought in Navy's former defensive coordinator P.J. Volker as a defensive assistant. And here's where things get even more layered. P.J. Volker isn't just another name. This is someone with a deep-rooted connection to Jesse Minter. These two go way back. They played college football together and later coached alongside one another at Georgia State and Indiana State. Minter even tried to bring him to L.A. during his previous stint, but it didn't happen. Now, Volker joins the Ravens staff without even needing to leave Maryland. Annapolis to Baltimore, a short drive, but a massive leap into the NFL. Let's talk about what P.J. Volker did at Navy. In his first season as DC in 2023, Navy's defense exploded. 3 shutouts, tied for the most in the entire FBS. 2nd in the country in fumble recoveries. 3rd in red zone defense. 4th in turnover margin. And that's just year 1. Over the next 2 seasons, Navy's record improved from 5-7 to 10-3 and then 11-2. They outscored opponents 104-7 in points off turnovers in 2024. That's no fluke. That's elite-level defensive planning and execution. This kind of resume doesn't lie. Volker's addition is huge, not just because of his numbers, but because of his connection with Minter. They speak the same language. They trust each other. That's the kind of synergy this team has been lacking. Let's not overlook the others filling out this already stacked coaching staff. Mike Mickens joins from Notre Dame as the defensive pass game coordinator and defensive backs coach. Tyler Santucci is staying on as the inside linebackers coach. And Charlie Gelman has come aboard as a defensive assistant and game management specialist. This is a unit being built not just on reputation, but on real chemistry, innovation, and intent. Anthony Weaver brings the voice of a veteran. P.J. Volker brings hunger and proven results. Jesse Minter brings vision and leadership. And together, they are shaping what could be one of the most exciting and dangerous defensive coaching staffs in recent Ravens history. Because here's the reality, this staff has no time to ease into things. Expectations in Baltimore aren't just high, they're sky high. The fan base is starving for results, and ownership has made it clear. This team is built to win now. Anything less than a deep playoff run in 2026 is going to be viewed as a disappointment. And while the pieces are exciting, putting it all together, that's the challenge. Anthony Weaver is walking into a locker room that's seen its fair share of frustration over the last couple seasons. Defensive leaders like Roquan Smith, Kyle Hamilton, and Justin Matabike are warriors, but even they can't carry the unit alone. They need guidance, vision, and a system that plays to their strengths. Weaver's role will be crucial, not just in coaching, but in restoring belief. Because when Baltimore's defense is confident, it's dangerous. What gives fans a reason to be hopeful is Weaver's connection with players. Brent Urban, who's played for several franchises, called Weaver his favorite coach ever. That's not a throwaway compliment. That's a veteran pouring real emotion into his words. Weaver knows how to motivate. He knows how to connect. He's not just drawing up XS and OS, he's getting guys to buy in. And after the breakdowns in communication we saw last season, that's exactly what this team needs. The defensive line in particular could see a massive resurgence under his watch. Remember, the trenches are where Baltimore traditionally dominates. But recently, it hasn't looked the same. The physicality, the discipline, the pressure, it's been inconsistent. With Weaver back in charge of the broader defensive vision and his D-line expertise, don't be surprised if that group becomes a strength again. Then there's P.J. Volker, a name not many fans knew a week ago, but someone they'll probably be talking about a lot more by the time the season kicks off. He's the kind of coach who can slide under the radar until you look at the numbers. 3 shutouts in a single season. That's not just discipline, that's domination. And his ability to generate turnovers? That's a game changer. You win football games by flipping the field, and Volker's defenses at Navy were among the best at doing just that. The connection between Volker and Minter also can't be overstated. Having coaches who know each other, who've worked together, played together, it creates a natural trust and rhythm. There's no feeling out process. There's alignment from day one. That matters in the NFL, especially when you're trying to instill a new identity. Minter is going to lean on Volker not just for ideas, but for execution. He knows what Volker brings to the table, and Volker is making the leap to the NFL at the perfect time. And let's zoom out for a second, because this isn't happening in a vacuum. The Ravens are building something here. A staff with a real balance of energy and experience. You've got coaches like Mike Mickens, who helped develop elite DBs at Notre Dame, bringing a fresh perspective to the secondary. You've got Tyler Santucci staying on with the inside linebackers, providing continuity where it counts. You've got Charlie Gilman, who adds a layer of game management that's often overlooked but incredibly valuable in tight games. This isn't just about bringing in names, it's about bringing in the right people. Coaches who complement each other. Coaches who are hungry, but not green. Coaches who know what it takes to build a defense that isn't just solid, but dominant. And the dominoes haven't stopped falling yet. On offense, the Ravens are still finalizing position coaches. Declan Doyle is locked in as the offensive coordinator, with Dwayne Ledford running the offensive line and Sean Flaherty assisting. But at wide receiver, running back, quarterback, and tight end, those hires are still to come. That's going to be another wave of news in the coming days. On defense, there's hope Chuck Smith is retained as the outside linebackers coach, a move that would further strengthen the pass rush development. The defensive line coach role is still open too, but you can bet that with Weaver leading the defensive staff, whoever gets that role is going to be someone who fits his aggressive, physical philosophy. So here we are, Ravens fans. A new chapter is being written right before our eyes. The Ravens have pressed the reset button, not by blowing up the roster, but by rebuilding the coaching foundation from the ground up. And that's the biggest story here. It's not just about one coach. It's the collective. It's a vision taking shape. Jesse Minter, Anthony Weaver, P.J. Volker, Mike Mickens, and others, they're not just here to fill roles. They're here to transform. Now the question becomes, will this transformation lead to results on the field? Will the Ravens rediscover their identity as a defense-first, physically punishing team? Will this group restore the fear that used to come with facing the Baltimore defense? If you believe in this new era, if you think the flock is finally taking flight again, let me know in the comments. And if you haven't yet, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, hit that like button, and check out one of the other videos on screen now to stay plugged into everything Ravens. This is